Okay, this is Mr. Peterson, and we're on the Honors Algebra 2 review for Chapter 4. And I'm going to do these first two problems, numbers 19 and 20, separately from the next two. The 2 by 2 inverse is what we're supposed to find, and that inverse on a 2 by 2 can be done by hand. So I'm going to remind you of how to do this. Okay, the first thing you want to do to find an inverse is actually find the determinant. So we're going to go around and find that little fish number that I taught you. On the downhill direction, you get 3 times 2 would be 6. And on the other direction, you get -1 times -4 would be 4. And so in this case, the determinant will be 2. All right, so once you have that one, you're going to find the inverse of this matrix. We'll call it matrix A, and so its inverse you're going to denote with a little -1 up there. You go 1 over that fish number, so I'm going to put that little 2 right underneath there. And then on the main diagonal, let me erase these markings here, and I'll show you the main diagonal. The main diagonal is a downhill one. On that diagonal, you switch places. So those numbers play musical chairs there. And on the other diagonal, the uphill diagonal, you don't change places, but you change the signs of the numbers. So they're currently both negative. You make them both positive. And then this 1/2 comes into play. So we're going to divide all these numbers by 2. And the inverse will be 1, 1/2, 2, 3/2. So I divided all 4 of the elements in the matrix, the 2, the 1, the 4, and the 3. I divided them all by that 2. And there's your inverse. Okay, on the next one, when you start out with the fish, you get 24, and then you come around here and you get -24. So the determinant of this one, the determinant of A, this is one way to write it, would be 24 minus 24. And that gives 0. And right away we run into trouble, because if you remember on the previous problem, you put that underneath a 1, and if you try and do that, you're going to get the following. Let me go ahead and do all the work here, and you'll see that there's really no possible inverse. So it'd be 1 over 0 times, and right there is the problem actually. I don't really have to do all the rest of this, but I'm going to put the 4 there and the 6 there, switch places, and in the other direction switch signs. But right here, that's an undefined quantity, 1 divided by 0. So there's no inverse, or you can write it undefined inverse, since the determinant of the matrix, determinant of A, equals 0. So there's the reason why there's no inverse. Okay, we're going to pick up on the next 2 problems here. And actually, those following ones here, the inverse of a 3 by 3, they're done on a calculator. So I'm going to set this up, and I'll tell you what to type. And we'll do 21 and 22 in the next video.